Okay, hi there. So today is January 31, and I left the Instant Techno Drums patch sheet installed just to sort of show the versatility of this machine. So if you can follow the patching here, what it does is it splits the fold and the cutoff into two voices. So the filter is just the hats, and the wave folder is just the kick. And again, yeah. All right, anyway. So just wanted to say that this is quite a versatile machine, really. In the right hands, and I'll put another link in the description to somebody who really does a good job with the Labyrinth. In the right hands, it's you can do good things with it, but not the right hands. So anyway, let me undo this patch and retune this monster. All right, so a little background noise. Not going to be much jamming today. Background noise here. We've got good old rings into clouds, or resonator into Typhoon. Good times. I've got a slow LFO going into the rate on marbles, or Cara. Anyhow, I'm pointing at stuff you can't see. So, marbles feeding rings into clouds, or Cara feeding resonator into Typhoon. Anyway, a little background noise while we muck about with this. All right, bye-bye patch sheet. Put the MIDI back in, so we're going to want the MIDI. Okay, so let's center that. Now let's get this all back zeroed out. We want no envelope generator. We want quantized to full. We want the VCO level to full. No noise. No ring mod. Center that. Put the cutoff. We don't want any modulation anywhere. No modulation. We're not going to be using any of that. Really, put this EG decay down. Reset the lengths. Reset the lengths. Not that we're going to be using the sequencer at all. What else can trip me up here? I don't think anything. I'm going to put the blend just over to the filter. Filter mode, low pass, a little bit of resonance. Put the decay up a little bit. All right. I have Labyrinth set to channel 5 on my key step. And have ye old strobo stomp. So let's try to get that to a C, shall we? Let's go up, it'll be faster. C. Yeah. So this should be an F. it is. And this should be a G. And it is. And this should be a C. And it sort of is. That was a C before. Touchy, touchy. Alright, so that's about as good as the Labyrinth does. Now let's compare, contrast with, for example, this 2 HP VCO. Okay, 2 HP VCO, it's not really apples to apples because here we have a sine wave and the closest I can get is a triangle here. This is a SSI low pass filter. This is a Moog low pass filter of some description. But, yeah, so, no, get on, there we go. Interestingly, the 2 HP VCO is about as incapable of tracking pitch as the Moog. I didn't really realize that until I started messing around with it today. At least it has a fine-tune knob, and I bet with enough tweaking, I could get the coarse and the fine to play a bit nicer. Might be slightly better than the Moog. Sort of tracks pitch kind of close to octave and a half. Versus the Moog. Let's get back in here so we can see Moog. It doesn't really even go an octave. All right, let's try the Earthquaker. This is the Earthquaker going into the Wasp. It is more or less apples to apples. I've got a sine wave going into the Wasp. Have no resonance. You know. That's 4 octaves, maybe 1 cent variance. 2 cents. That's a rock solid oscillator right there. Theoretically, these two are using the same Curtis whatever CEM2234 or something like that integrated circuit for their oscillator. And I bet it comes down to the 3 tune knobs here, main tune, fine tune, and micro tune, pico tune, whatever, versus the 2 here and the, the size and the, friction on the knobs here versus these little pots in my twitchy fingers. So anyway, again, spoiled, I guess, as I am by, digital oscillators that stay in tune, and an analog oscillator that stays in tune. This just doesn't to any practical degree. So it's kind of, if I wanted to do some pretty stuff like Rings is doing here, then let's just start it and see what happens. If you're not paying attention, if you don't have perfect pitch, I don't. So it's not bad, right? But it's really not a plug machine. It's really not, is it? As soon as you, start messing around with the fold, the attack gets nice and sharp. And once you mix in, ring mod, start bringing in the mod VCO. So it goes pretty percussive pretty quickly. Anyhow, great device. Really a fantastic toy. Really a good machine in the right hands. I'm not sure these are the right hands. So anyway, this probably won't go away today. But it may very well come out of the setup today. I don't know. Baby's first Moog. Probably not the right first Moog. Not for me anyway. I mean, I had a Model D Behringer. What a fantastic synthesizer that is. But that's not a Moog. This is a Moog. Tell you that Behringer track pitch. Probably track pitch better than this 2 HP VCO even. So anyhow, thanks, January 31. If you've been following along all month, thank you. I'll be a bit less active probably until November. We'll see. Certainly not daily. This has been fun. Thanks. Bye-bye.